Hello?
Speak to Terry numbers, please.
This is.
This is Jared Rowe.
How are you doing today?
Good, how about yourself?
Super, can't complain on a beautiful cloudy day like today.
Yeah, it is cloudy.
I figured I'd change it up since I always use that beautiful sunshiny day routine, so.
Oh, do you?
Yep, every time.
Oh, really?
And then people go, the sun isn't shining. And then I go, well, the sun is shining somewhere. And then they laugh or they, give me that, you're a weirdo, type of look. Or,
oh, yeah.
You know how that works?
Yeah.
So, whatever. So anyhow, what did you find out?
Yeah, so I talked to Sherburne County.
Okay.
And they said they still have the letters that you rejected.
Okay.
And they said they aren't going to send it to a third party, which I think is a smart move on their part, to not send things addressed to an individual to third parties. But they said they still have the letters, and they're more than happy to send them to you if you still want them. They also said the letters are, for the most part, my understanding is the letters that you rejected actually contains the same information that you already have. So I'm not sure that it contains that much more new information. But they did say that they'll, I talked to them and they said they still have them. They'll happily send them to you if you want them to. So
they're going to send them certified mail again?
Well, I think if you contact them, I don't know how they would send them. If you want to request the manner for them to send it to you, that's between you and them. I'm not sure if they're going to send it by certificate of mail. I would suggest if they do send it by certificate of mail that you accept it.
Well, of course I'll accept it if it's certificate of mailing. Certified mail, that's a different story.
Or certified mail. Whichever way they send it, I'd recommend you accept it. That's up to you. But you can go ahead and contact them and work that out with them. That's between you two.
So they didn't. They didn't say they were gonna send it. They were waiting for me to ask for it. Then.
Well, they already sent it to you and you rejected. So
well, I think
what they're waiting for is, on their part, I'm not sure what you think they would be required to do when they already sent it to you. So I would contact them and tell them and try to work it out as to how to send it to you. But they still have the letters, so they'll still be willing to send it to you.
Okay. I'm just trying to find out what they had said. So obviously they are not just going to resend them. They want me to contact them and negotiate how it can be sent or whatever.
I don't know about negotiate. I don't know if that's part of it. But
well, whatever.
They tried to send it to you. You rejected it. They still have them. They said they'll send it them again. But, I think it would, since you rejected them, I think the next would be for you to contact them and say, you know what I mean?
Jared, all I need to have you do is tell me exactly what they said, okay?
I'm telling you.
No, you aren't. Either they are going to send it, or they're waiting for me to contact them, and then they'll send it. That's real simple.
Oh, I told you they're waiting for you to contact them.
Okay, I didn't hear that from you, so if I missed that, then I apologize, but I don't believe I missed that. Okay?
Maybe I didn't. Okay, well, if I didn't say it, I apologize. But they are waiting to contact, or they are waiting for you to contact them.
Okay.
You did reject the first time.
I understand that. I told that to you.
Yep,
remember?
Yep.
Okay. So we don't need all the commentary. I just need to know the facts. So. But anyhow, so that pretty much is a dead issue then. So then we'll get on to the next topic, which I sent you a bunch of information about this Thomas Henry Pertler, which I mentioned the last time we spoke. He's the Carlton County attorney. He was picked up for drunk driving, refused the breathalyzer test. So I requested the MDT information. Well, I actually did that later. I asked for the police report and the dash cam video, which they sent me. All right? Which another guy was trying to get, a Doug Delaney, and they essentially told him to pound sand according to Doug Delaney. It was only because I contacted the State Patrol in Duluth, and then I was transferred to the Bemidji division, and I record the conversations and put it up on YouTube, were they compliant? Well, as time went on, this Doug Delaney told me, which is in the paperwork that I sent you, he said that they were lying to me about some of the information and whatever. And then he said, this is something I did not include in the letter. There was a sentence he put in there that says, if you want to see them get into a panic, ask for the MDT information, which is mobile data terminal information. All right? Are you familiar with that at all?
Not really.
Okay. When they're running their dash cams on in their inboard squad cars,
Yep.
they can email each other back and forth, that type of thing. You know, so it's whatever communication they have between each other troop, whatever officer and the office, that's on there, which is public information.
Okay.
So anyhow, according to Doug, he was a former deputy. So this is one of these little inside things that not a lot of people know about. And he said, if you want to see them get paranoid or panic, I don't remember exactly what he said, but essentially what it was is throw them into a panic, ask for the MDT. And after I asked for that, not only did I not get the MDT, I also received a harassing phone call from the public information officer, the head public information officer, Eric Roski, about 10:30 at night. And of course it was just to find out what I was digging for, because actually in the video you'll see the officer, the trooper, let's see, what's his name here? Jonathan Carlson, turn off the sound on his dash cam video. Okay? And I spoke to a Captain Hodap from southern Minnesota, and she said that's a big no-no. They're not allowed to do that. See, so soon after that, he has this panicked phone call from someone, and he's walking back and forth, pacing in the video. All right? And so, of course, he's obviously received some mobile data terminal information, like an email, saying, guess what, you got a call coming in, so take your call and turn off the sound, or something like that. Because the sound stayed off for the rest of the trip to the jail. All right?
Okay.
So, of course, like I said, this guy, Doug Delaney, is a former deputy, or he says he's a former deputy, which I have no reason to doubt him. So he said that was a huge no-no because that is a safety device, which of course Captain Hodap confirmed in my phone conversation. It's for officer safety, it's for the suspect's safety, and of course, which no one mentioned, it's for the safety of the case or the prosecutor. Because that's an objective recording what's going on. Say the officer starts beating someone or swearing at them or threatening them or whatever, or vice versa. You can have the sound to, make your case one way or the other. All right. So I have not received that information, and in fact, after I requested that information and had the threatening phone call, I have no longer been receiving police reports. That was the only case that I've ever received a hard copy police report. And in the paperwork, you'll see that I paid for it. I do believe it was around $17.50 or something like that. And that doesn't really matter. But anyhow, $17.50, yeah, is exactly what it was. But anyhow, I've submitted numerous requests. Thomas Edward Huntley, Nicholas Bruce Morris, Brian Michael Pasick, he's a cop. That Nicholas Morris, he's a trooper. And this Thomas Edward Huntley, he's a state rep. So, and also this Michael Hartman, he's a high-profile case, been in the news about raw milk. So none of those I've received police reports for. All right, I don't have the hard copy. Now, Roski has sent me some arrest data, but that's not what I asked for. All right, because I think, and maybe I told you or maybe I didn't. There's also a case up in Duluth. Richard Jopie made the national news. He beat up this guy. It's an officer, Jopie. He beat up this guy in a detox center. It was on video. Went on YouTube, and so anyhow, now they want to move the case. Well, anyhow, my video or the picture from my video happens to be on the front page, or happens to be in the lead article of this article from the Duluth newspaper. It says attorney wants to move Jopie trial. See, and that's up by Duluth, and that's where this Captain Strombeck's from. See, so I've thrown big monkey wrenches in a variety of cases up there. And there's another one just recently, a Tim Scannell. They were talking about having him removed from office. Well, they got that idea from a newspaper article, obviously, from the Duluth newspaper, about people wanting to have Pertler, Carlton County Attorney Thomas Pertler, removed from office also. Because I'd been sending the county attorneys various emails, and all the questions that I had submitted to the county commissioners, what they refused to answer, are answered in this article, which says Pertler discipline up to the voters. All right. So, in fact, I was just speaking to the St. Louis County attorney up there, and I just informed with some similar information here about the Jopie case, and want to know what he was going to do about it. So, obviously, I've been causing a lot of heartache for these people up there, because it appears they aren't really concerned about justice. Because if there was nothing to hide on this MDT information about Pertler, they would just laugh in my face and say, Mr. Nemers, here it is. Just shut up now. All right? But again, like Sherburne County, they've got a lot to hide. All right? Because obviously...
So your question is on...
Well, the MDT. I have submitted the requests. I've submitted requests for police reports, and I haven't gotten them. All right? Because in the paperwork...
You got a response from them?
Well, I get responses there. If you see on the paperwork that I sent you, there's Exhibit A, B, and C.
I got something today. Is that what you sent?
Yes. Okay. Anyhow, it says that according to Roski, that the MDT information is only kept for 90 days.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the only unfortunate thing for Roski is I called up a kind, courteous, and helpful lady from another division of the State Patrol, and she told me it was kept for 2 years. All right?
You have a retention schedule from them that shows what it actually is?
I have a recording of this nice little lady, which I played for Captain Strombeck's voicemail just the other day. And that's what's going on. And I submitted another... Okay, let me finish here. And I submitted a data request asking for the policy and procedure on MDT, and asking them why I'm not receiving police reports after I submitted this request for the MDT on Pertler. So that, and I haven't heard a response back from that either. Okay.
Well, okay. We made, okay, so for the data they said they don't have, there's what's called the Official Records Act. That's the Minnesota Statute 15.17. And that, the Official Records Act is it's fairly general in that there is some discretion for government entities as to what's considered an official record. And if a document is considered an official record by a government entity, then it's up to that entity to keep those official records per a record retention schedule. And if data are not part of a record retention schedule, then there's no requirement that the data are kept. Sometimes the data are kept anyway because they're useful for the entity as it does its work. Even data that is being kept regardless of the Official Records Act, is subject to Chapter 13 requests, so people can still make requests for data even though it's not part of an official record. But there's three valid responses, and I think we talked about this before.
Yep.
One of them being that the entity can say, well, we just don't have the data you requested, and that's a valid response. If you're a requester and they say, well, we don't have this data you've asked for, one thing that requester might want to do is look into what the retention schedule is. And so that's an official, most entities should have a retention schedule, something that's on paper. That would be the source for how long something should be kept. And it's possible that the data perhaps aren't an official record and aren't on the record retention schedule. That could be as well. So that's is that the question you had?
No, actually, I wanted my MDT information. Like I said, I already put in a request for the policy and procedure on MDT. I understand your background information here, which I wrote down.
Okay.
But the point is, Lieutenant Roski told me 90 days, and it's been destroyed. And then after I had informed them that I was filing a complaint with Internal Affairs, then Roski decided he was going to send me the arrest data from the ones I mentioned earlier. All right? But they have never sent me the MDT. All right? And even Lawless Polk County down here has sent me the MDT information. And I've gotten MDT information from Elk River Police Department. All right? I just received that just here the other day. So, and again, a lady who works for the State Patrol in another division similar to Captain Strombeck's told me that the retention is 2 years. Now, she's a records lady, so I presume she knows what she's talking about. Okay, so I don't necessarily need a retention schedule to know that they're lying to me. Okay, I have testimony from an official worker who wears a little badge who does this stuff. All right? And like I said, she was kind, courteous, and helpful. So again, I know that they have it. They just don't want to give it to me.
Well, again, I guess what I previously said is the answer to the question. It's fine if you have someone who you've talked to who was trying to be helpful. That's great.
Right. And I thanked her for it too.
Again, you would want to get the official record retention schedule. A document.
Right.
Something that someone said over the phone. That would be my recommendation.
Right. I already told you I submitted a data request for the MDT policy and procedure, which I presume
and you also asked for the record retention schedule.
That I didn't know that word until I just talked to you. But I asked for how long the information is kept on the system. So I would presume that would include that type of information.
Okay.
So.
Okay. Well, yeah, then maybe you'll get more information that includes the retention for that type of. Again, I don't know anything about MDT, and I just don't know that much about it and how often it's used and if it's an official record or that kind of thing. But
it's kept. Like I said, they're required to keep these records. Like I said, in case there's some sort of trouble, whether it's they're causing the trouble or someone else is causing the trouble. That's the disadvantage of the electronic age. Everything is kept. There's a record of everything.
More things are kept.
Right.
I wouldn't say everything's kept.
Well, it's kept for a certain amount of time.
And the individual to talk to, if you're looking for information, is the data practices compliance official. Is really the person you want to talk to in an entity. Either that or the responsible authority. Usually, it's the data practices compliance official, who I believe that is. I think that is Roski, right?
Exactly, the guy who makes some harassing phone calls.
That would be Well, I mean, I can't speak to that issue, but...
Oh, I understand that. See, the thing is, Lieutenant Roski does not return my phone calls either. See, after he had sent me the harassing phone call, I told him not to make any more harassing phone calls. So now he doesn't make any phone calls. And if he does respond to me, it's in an email. All right? So, again, he thinks that he has rights and I don't. Well, he's going to find out that I have all sorts of rights. In fact, I'm working on writing up a internal affairs complaint against Roski and Strombeck. You know, we've been waiting for this little video, like I said, the recording of that nice, helpful lady at the other division. So now I'm just getting ready to start writing it up. I just was writing up another internal affairs complaint against an information officer at Ramsey County. And the funny thing is, they've been snooping, or someone from St. Paul, state of Minnesota, has been snooping on my website ever since I filed that complaint just the other day. So I presume it's them. So,
well, the person to talk to in an entity, generally speaking, is the data practice compliance official for that type of information.
And that's who I did speak with.
It's what can happen sometimes. You can talk to someone who doesn't quite understand what those policies and procedures act, and maybe the woman you talked to did know the right information. I just have no idea. That's why, I would say you always talk to the people who talk to the data practices compliance official. The woman you talk to might have misunderstood what you're asking about, or I don't know, but
it's clear.
I would just make sure you're getting it from the right information from the right person.
Right. Like I said, I submitted the data request for that information. Now, whether I receive it or not, of course, is a completely different thing. That's why I'm going to focus on writing up my internal affairs complaint instead of holding my breath for that. So,
okay.
I should have that done the next few days here. I've been preoccupied with other things, so.
Okay. All right. Any other questions?
I think that should take care of it.
Okay.
Alrighty then.
Well, if there's nothing else, then I'll let you go.
Okay, well, thank you for your time.
Right.
I appreciate it.
Yep, have a good day.
Yeah, bye now.